Okay, so you want to own a billboard, buy a big sign by a busy road, rent it to an advertiser, and collect a check every month for doing absolutely nothing. It looks like the laziest money in the world. Here's the problem. That is not the business. A billboard company does not really sell signs. It is a government-protected monopoly on human attention that rents out land it does not even own. Everything strange and profitable about this business hides behind that one sentence. Let me show you. Start with what a billboard costs. The steel is the easy part. A basic static billboard, a big vinyl sheet on a metal pole, costs $20,000 to $100,000 to put up. A digital one, a giant LED screen that changes its picture, costs far more, $150,000 to $500,000, almost all of it for the screen. But here is the twist. Even with the money in hand, across most of America, you are not allowed to build one at all. This is the secret engine of the whole industry. Back in 1965, a law called the Highway Beautification Act, plus a wave of local bans that followed, made most towns stop handing out new billboard permits. The signs already standing were grandfathered in, protected, but no new ones allowed. 4 states, Vermont, Maine, Hawaii, and Alaska, banned billboards completely. So the billboards that exist became a fixed, frozen supply that can almost never grow. And the little paper permit that lets a sign stand there? It can be worth more than the steel holding it up. Now the second trick. You usually do not own the ground your billboard stands on. You rent it. A billboard operator signs a lease with whoever owns the land, a farmer, a gas station, a rooftop, and pays them a ground rent, often just 15 to 20% of what the sign earns. So the landowner collects a small slice for the dirt, and you, the operator, keep the rest for selling the view above it. You are not really renting land. You are renting the sky over somebody else's property and reselling it for far more. So what does that view actually earn? A quiet rural billboard might rent for only a few $100s a month. A good one in a busy city, several thousand. And a premium digital board in a top market on the right highway can pull in tens of thousands of dollars a month. All from a single structure that, once it is built, mostly just stands there. The difference between a cheap board and a gold mine is not the steel. It is one thing. How many eyeballs drive past it every single day? Here is the idea that turned this business upside down. Digital. A static billboard sells to one advertiser at a time. One vinyl sheet, one company, 1 month. But flip that board to a digital screen and something magical happens. The picture changes every 8 seconds. So you do not sell it to one advertiser. You sell the same 8 seconds to 8 different advertisers rotating all day long. You did not build 7 new billboards. You conjured them out of thin air, from the very same pole. One structure, sold 8 times over. And because the steel only has to be paid for once, the money that comes after is almost pure profit. Think about it. No inventory to restock. No product to ship. Once the board is up and rented, there is barely anything left to spend. That is why the biggest billboard companies run profit margins that most businesses can only dream of, keeping close to half of every dollar as operating profit. The billboard just stands there, in the sun, in the rain, quietly turning attention into cash, decade after decade. So if a billboard is basically a printing press, what is it really? The answer is hiding in plain sight. In 2014, the 2 biggest players, Lamar and OUTFRONT, did something telling. They legally converted into real estate investment trusts, REITs, the same structure that owns apartment towers and shopping malls, because to them, a billboard was never an advertising business. It is a piece of real estate that happens to face a highway. Lamar alone now controls over 350,000 advertising displays, a landlord whose tenants are logos. Now step back and see what you are really buying. Not the vinyl, not even the land, which you only rent. The single most valuable thing a billboard company owns is that little government permit. Because new ones can almost never be issued, each existing permit is a tiny, permanent, government-granted license to occupy one precious line of sight, forever. It is scarcity, printed on paper, and protected by law. You are not buying a sign, you are buying a piece of the public's eyeballs that nobody will ever be allowed to sell again. But do not fall in love just yet. A great asset can still sink you, and the way it happens is always the same. Debt. Clear Channel Outdoor, one of the 3 giants, owns thousands of prime billboards, and has spent years buried under about $5 billion of debt, borrowing far more than its cash flow could comfortably carry. To survive, it has been forced to sell off whole chunks of its empire, like its entire European business. The lesson repeats in every one of these videos. The house can be a money machine, and the mortgage can still crush you. There is a softer risk too, and it arrives on a schedule: recessions. When the economy turns and companies panic, advertising is one of the very first budgets they cut, and billboards feel it fast. When the world shut down in 2020, out-of-home advertising revenue fell by nearly half in a single quarter. Your steel is still standing, your permit is still valid, but the advertisers simply vanish, and an empty billboard earns exactly nothing. A frozen supply protects you from competitors. It does not protect you from a bad economy. And then there is the nightmare that proves what this business truly is. In 2007, the city of São Paulo, Brazil, one of the biggest cities on earth, did the unthinkable. A law called the Clean City Law banned virtually all outdoor advertising overnight, and around 15,000 billboards came down across the city in a matter of months. 15,000 permits, worth a fortune the day before, turned into scrap metal. It is the ultimate proof. Your entire business rests on permission, and permission is something a government can simply take back. So run one billboard company through 2 very different years. The good year. The economy is warring, every board is rented, your digital screens rotate 8 advertisers at a time, and the profit rolls in at nearly half of every dollar for a business that mostly just stands there. The realistic year: a recession empties your boards, a city council votes to ban new signs and force old ones down, and the debt you took on to buy all those permits comes due. Every single month, whether the boards earn $1 or not. Same steel, same view. The difference is everything happening around it. So, should you own a billboard? If you can find that rare grandfathered permit, avoid drowning in debt to buy it, and survive the recessions and the bans, it might be one of the closest things to a legal money printing machine in all of business. Just be honest about what you truly own. You do not own a sign. You own a government-protected right to sell the same few seconds of a stranger's attention over and over on land that was never yours. The steel was never the business, the permission always was.